If you feel stuck in your life, if you feel things aren't right in your life, no matter how much you try, you're not making progress. You are probably trapped in the matrix. The word matrix, which is very captivating and exciting, is used in the computer scientific and philosophy. This concept is primarily depicted in the famous and beloved movie The Matrix, where the Matrix is portrayed as an artificial and virtual world controlled and created by artificial intelligence. Living in the Matrix is like living a dream world, where everything seems perfect. It's a simulated reality that tricks our mind into believing what we see, hear, and feel is real. We continue with our daily lives without questioning our existential nature or knowing that there might be another way of living. In the Matrix, everything appears orderly and predictable. All of this is an illusion. We are born into this system, taught to follow rules that keep us from reaching our true potential. It's true the Matrix offers comfort and security, but does it have a price? At the cost of our freedom, creativity, the ability to think for ourselves and live our lives. Living in the Matrix means accepting things as they are without ever questioning them or challenging. It means settling for mediocrity instead of striving for our best in life. The world is not what we see. When a human is born, until about 2 years old, they see the world in its almost true form. But gradually, through the teaching of those around him, and by repeating these names, the world around him is transformed from the dreamlike, unstable, and vibrational state into a solid and material world. He doesn't see the tree as energy and vibration, but sees its physical form and calls it a tree, and we slowly construct this world in our mind. Why did the Matrix movie become so famous and capture the attention of people worldwide? Perhaps because it served as a wake-up call in our minds to remind us of what the real world looks like. After that, conspiracy theories were brought up by many individuals, and to this day, this story still holds its appeal. Hello everyone, my name is Siti. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm here to continue our journey together and have a better life. Now, what really is this matrix? It's true that this concept has recently gained a lot of attention, and many people have created podcasts and tutorials on how to break free from it. However, this is not a new topic, and it has been addressed continuously in various philosophies and cultures from the past to the present. For example, Rumi says about it, I'm a bird of paradise, not belonging to this earthly world. They have built a cage for my body, just for a few days. In another place, he suggests to us, this world is a prison, and we are its prisoners. You must strive yourself and free yourself from the prison. On the other hand, Plato has a very captivating example which says, a group of prisoners are inside a cave. They were burned there and never saw outside of the cave. Behind them there is a fire, and they see the shadows of the people passing by the mouth of the cave. Thinking these shadows are the real world, they give them names. One day, one of the prisoners is set free and goes outside the cave. He sees the real world with his own eyes and realizes that everything he had seen before was just a shadow of reality. He happily returns to the cave to tell the other prisoners about this truth. However, they think he has gone mad. Don't forget to subscribe channel and like this video. In fact, the matrix is our mind. We're living in a world as vast as our mind. We are unaware of the power of within us. And this ignorance leaves us defenseless against exploitations. It poisons our mindset and we become prisoners in the jail of the mind. The prisoner whose only way to escape is to go beyond the mind. The greatest form of mind control is when you think you are free, but in reality you are heavily manipulated and dictated to by your mind. When you are in a prison cell and see the bars, you touch them. But at that moment, you know you are a prisoner and strive to escape from those conditions. But what if you are in a prison where you can't see the bars? What happens then? Because you think you are free, you don't make any effort to break free and you remain in the prison indefinitely. What humanity suffers from is a mass hypnosis. We are hypnotized by the news, politicians, teachers, speakers. The greatest tool of hypnosis in the world used to be television in the past, but today the mobile phone is a device that's with us everywhere. Television, mobile phones, and social networks are constantly reinforcing this issue. What you see is the truth. Conspiracy theories tell us that there are always people controlling us. Who do you think they are? The Freemasons? The Illuminati? The shadow government? Perhaps reptilians or extraterrestrials. No force in the world can impose anything on us against the free will of humans. And the only thing that the media, politicians, and religions do is not to allow humans to become aware of their own power and to keep us always asleep with a particular rhythm and frequency. For example, border conflicts between countries, wars for various reasons, bias towards our language, culture, or country. These are blind bias that only benefit politicians. The war on religions beliefs, the gender that religions used to dominate us. The reality is that today the matrix controls our lives in another way. In recent years, our dependency on the internet and its communication networks has become so great that we can't even imagine a world without it. News comes to us personalized from websites and personalized news sites. Most purchases have been made online. This system knows your needs. It only provides you with information and news that you have searched for and followed more, while filtering out the rest, and very intelligently it filters and censors the word for you. They have all the statistics of our desire and needs. They are aware of all our behaviors and based on that, they map out and set the future path for us. They manipulate us into thinking that we are thinking for ourselves, but we are actually thinking about the topics they want us to. How can we break free from this matrix? We are forced to live in this world until the moment of death due to having a physical body. So human needs to continue living in their own bodies and physical forms. But is life just about this body? The indigenous people of Mexico or shamans believe that every person has two sides, two separate and opposing entities that began their work at the moment of birth. One of them is called Tonal and the other is called Noah. Tonal is the social human, the organizer of our world. Perhaps the best description of it is that its duty is to regulate the chaos of the world. For example, Tonal tries to understand conversations. Without it, we only see people's voice and the sound of speaking, and we don't understand what they're saying at all. Tonal is the overseer that protects and supports something valuable, which is our pure integrity. But Noal is a part of us that we never pay attention to. Noal is a part of us that has no expression, no word, no name, and no feeling. We constantly talk to ourselves about our world. In fact, we keep our world alive through inner dialogue. Whenever we stop talking to ourselves in our minds, the world stops and the real world emerges. They consider the world as fields of boundless energy and light. In fact, they see the human form in this way too. They see it as countless fields of energy strands that resemble a shining web, and they claim that this mass of energy has deviated due to repeated habits and misuse, taking on the human form. And the goal of the shamans or these indigenous people is to correct these strands. They want the human to become formless. A formless human loses their tired and ordinary existence and is freed from captivity. They believe that a human must take good care of their tonal because distance from it leads to illness and death. They consider mental illnesses like schizophrenia or bipolar disorder as a result of tonal damage. And as we take care of our tonal, we become aware of Noval, and we awaken this greater power. In fact, Noval can be the same Kundalini that has fallen asleep at the root chakra, and most people are not aware of it until the moment of death, when this energy is released and people become aware of it. Be sure to watch the video of root chakra cleansing. And perhaps the secret of happiness is in awareness of the world. Maybe you hear this story too. This story of a young man who has come to seek the secret of happiness from a wise sage. The young man walks in the desert for 40 days. He arrives at a magnificent palace. He enters the palace. Many people are coming and going there. The man looks for the wise sage. He finds him amidst the crowd. Many people are conversing with the sage. The young man is forced to wait for a few hours. Finally, he meets the sage and asks his question, the secret of happiness. The sage listens carefully to the young man and tells him, I can't answer your question right now, but I want you to see this palace. He gives a spoon to the young man and pours some oil into it. He asks him to be careful not to spill the drops of oil while seeing the palace. The young man sets off to explore the palace, but his eyes are constantly on the spoon, fearing the oil might spill. After a few hours, he returns to see the sage. The sage asks, Did you see the beautiful carpets of the palace? Did you see the gardens of the palace, which took years to build? Did you see the deer skin hanging in the library? The young man, embarrassed, replied, I was only concerned about the drops of oil in the spoon. The sage said to him, That's okay, go back and see the palace again. You can't trust someone without knowing their home. The young man was very happy. He quickly went to see different parts of the palace. This time, he saw each piece of art in the palace. He enjoyed the beauty of the gardens and the surrounding mountains of the palace. He saw the designs and colors used in the palace. Then, with great excitement, he returned to the sage and proudly talked about his experience. The sage looked at the spoon of the young man and asked, Very good, but what happened to the drops of oil on your spoon? The young man looked at the spoon and realized that there was no drop of oil on it. The sage says to the young man, Now I can tell you the secret of happiness. The secret of happiness is in seeing and experiencing the world. But you should never let the drop of oil spill from your spoon. A person who seeks liberation from the dependencies of their life is called the seeker. The seeker must know that they have sufficient power to perform any action. They must know that every action they take may be their last on earth, because death is always waiting for him. Mexican indigenous people have a belief that says death is a great external force, and they believe that death is placed just a hand's breadth away, to the left and right of us. The moment we are supposed to die, we become aware of it. being aware that death is only as far away as a hand's breadth from us, help us to be more vigilant and gather our sense to each moment of our lives. A truth seeker is aware that every time they intend to do something, it's their last act and their final battle on earth. They take pleasure in doing that task and no longer fear, as it gives them power and authority. If we don't take initiative and have no significant role in our lives, our subconscious mind does this task for us. This is something that most people witness in their daily lives. They experience events and problems that they don't want any of them. They feel like God is punishing them. They don't realize that they have attracted these experiences into their lives. They have delegated their choice to their subconscious mind, precisely because they don't want to be responsible for their lives. It's a tough job. We must make enough effort. The first step to break free from the matrix is to desire it. Our minds are always attached to the known and consider the unknown dangerous because it has no control over it. And for this very reason, the mind is disgusted with the present moment and ignores it. In the matrix, what matters is not what we do in the world, but how we identify ourselves with that action. To the extent that the job has taken over you, it becomes your role. You're playing it. When you're playing a role, you're unconscious. You've mistaken a behavioral pattern for who you are. You take yourself too seriously. Also, automatically assign roles to others that match your own. For example, a doctor who completely identifies with his role doesn't see his patients as humans. Instead, they are just cases or medical subjects to him. Are we in the matrix or not? The frequency we call the matrix or prison is where conditions such as wealth and poverty, strength and weakness, freedom and religions and non-religious slaves are all in a specific and identifiable frequency. To better understand whether we are in the matrix or not, we also need to examine it through our beliefs, because the matrix manifests itself through beliefs. For example, slavery in the past, slavery in our memories, hatreds, revenges, and past sufferings, the imprisonment of being, geographical, having any kind of border in the mind that creates a distance between me and the other, national, ethnic, racial, religious, group, class borders, which makes me consider myself somehow superior or inferior to others, even compared to an animal. All of these indicates our enslavement in the matrix. The social prison, social do's and don'ts, fear of judgment, acting or creating our lives based on others' desire, preserving reputation, the prison of the mind. And of course, it's not easy to escape from this prison, because the prison and the prison guard are one. Only through the silence of the mind can we pass through the final prison, because the mind acts based on the reality it defines and cannot perceive and see beyond it. To break free from this frequency, it's necessary to silence the mind and restart it, which is not possible except through meditation. Osho says, "This is my experience. The day I took full responsibility, I found the doors of freedom open to me. These two come together. Everyone desires freedom. No one desires responsibility. In this way, you will never have freedom. You will remain a slave. Remember, remaining a slave in your own responsibility, you choose it. It was not imposed on you. Freedom begins when you realize you are not the thinker." Just by becoming the observer of thoughts, a higher level of active awareness is activated. Then gradually, one realizes that beyond thoughts, there is a vast expanse of conscience and awareness. of which your thoughts are only a small part. One understands that all truly important things like beauty, love, creativity, joy, and inner peace arise from beyond the busy mind, and thus slowly one awakens. We have forgotten what rocks, plants, and animals still know. We have forgotten how to be silent, how to be ourselves, how to be where life is, right here, in the present moment. Problems are creation of the mind and require time to persist. Problems cannot continue in the reality of the present moment. Focus your attention on the present moment and see if you truly have a problem now. To exit the matrix, you must consciously take care of your life. If you are awake and aware enough to observe your own interaction with others, you may find small changes in your behavior, speech, and approach that depend on the person you are facing. The way you speak to your bosses is different from how you talk to a janitor or an office employee. The tone of your speech when talking to a child is different compared to when speaking to an adult. Why? Because you are playing a role. When dealing with the CEO of a company, a janitor, or a child, you are not yourself. You have conditioned behavioral patterns for yourself. You also have a mental image of that person in your mind, especially the one you are interacting with. In fact, you're not connecting with the real person, but with the image your mind has constructed of them. The imaginary image your mind has of you connects with their self-constructed image of you. The foundation of a spiritual technique is personal experience, meaning the personal spiritual experience that lead to self-awareness. Often someone who embarks on the journey of self-discovery realizes that transformation begins internally, such as in dreams or while asleep. In the initial stage, these experiences are often confusing and chaotic. They may seem meaningless at first. One might even say, "I don't remember dreams at all," or "I don't understand their meaning at all." After a while, through meditation and regular inner practices, they gradually recall their dreams, receive symbolic messages, and some individuals are more receptive because their awareness of other worlds is much greater. They experience soul travel, which reflects awareness beyond the human five senses. Soul travel can be summed up in one word. When you go to sleep, you awaken in other worlds and experience the light of God or meet spiritual masters. When you wake up, you bring that love and deep understanding with you into your life, continuing to gain more awareness of yourself. Another very important point we can't mention for exiting the matrix is raising your own vibration and frequency, because at a lower frequency you can't receive higher frequencies such as love. Now I want to introduce you to some methods for raising your vibration. Live in the present moment. This is the hardest thing to do and can drive your mind crazy. But every time you notice it during the day, practice it. Be aware of everything you do. For example, when eating, be mindful of yourself and your food. Be present. Don't let your mind wander elsewhere. Similarly, after every task, even simple and ordinary ones like walking, talking, be present in the moment. Be aware of the law of attraction, a law that says every feeling and thoughts you have affects the world. Whatever you speak or think can become reality. All your thoughts influence you. Therefore, try to turn negative thoughts into positive ones, as negativity harms you first and foremost in life. Pay attention to the beauties around you. Beauty is everywhere, but we easily overlook it and don't see it. The main reason for this is that we are always in a hurry, impressed in our thoughts, and not present in the moment. Slow down your pace. Take a few minutes. Look at the flowers and trees, the sky, the mountains, the animals, and everything around you. Beauty has the power to soothe your soul, fill your heart, and significantly raise your vibration level. Meditate. Allocate time to relax. Calm your mind and your body. Throughout the day, stresses, pressures, worries, and anxieties bring a lot of stress to us, all of which negatively affect our energy levels. Try to dedicate at least 15 minutes a day to meditation and release yourself from these pressures. Express gratitude. This practice effectively impacts increasing your vibration. Be kind and cultivate love. Helping and forgiving without expectation of return clears your heart and prepares you to receive more from the universe. Love and kindness resonate with high vibration of energy and attract high energies according to their own law attraction. Conversely, gossip, jealousy, anger, and hatred lower vibrations and attract vibrations aligned with themselves. Incorporate dancing, exercise, and anything that awakens joy and happiness within you into your life. Start something new. Engage yourself in arts and creative activities. Lastly, I recommend reading the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, as being present in the moment is the key to freeing yourself from the matrix. Thank you for being with me, and thanks to those who like and subscribe us. Take care, all of your moments.